Hello students, welcome to your accounts class. So today we will be starting with our last topic of our unit 3, that is hire purchase and installment system. I am Janvi Agarwal, Assistant Professor, School of Management, BPT University. In this lecture we will be studying about the meaning of hire purchase contract, the meaning of hire purchase system, what are the characteristics of hire purchase system, terms that are used in hire purchase agreement, accounting entries for hire purchase system, advantages and disadvantages of hire purchase system, installment purchase system, and difference between hire purchase and installment system. So these are the topics that we will be covering in today's lecture. So we will start with the topic first of this lecture, that is meaning of hire purchase contract. So what does hire purchase contract means? A contract of hire purchase is a contract where goods are purchased or sold with the stipulations that the delivery of goods will be given by the owner of the goods to the hire purchaser. So a contract of a hire purchase is a contract where the goods are purchased and sold with certain conditions, and those conditions are that the delivery of goods will be given by the owner of the goods to the hire purchaser. Okay, and next the payment of the price for the goods will be made in installments. So second conditions that is to be fulfilled for entering into a hire purchase contract is that the payment of the price of goods will be made in installments. Ownership of the goods are passed to the hire purchaser only on payment of all the installments. So the third condition is that the ownership of the goods will be passed to a hire purchaser only when he makes all the installments and he clears all his dues. And lastly, in the event of hire purchaser's failure to pay any installment, the hire vendor will be entitled to seize the goods. So, if the hire purchaser fails to pay the installment, then in that case, the hire vendor will be entitled to seize all the goods and adjust the money paid by the hire purchaser against the hire charges for the use of the goods. So these are some of the conditions that are to be fulfilled while entering into a hire purchase contract. Thus, in a contract of hire purchase, the hire vendor parts only with the possession of the goods but not with the ownership. So, in the contract of hire purchase, the hire vendor parts only with the possession of the goods to the hire purchaser and not the ownership of the goods. It means that the ownership of the product or the good is not transferred to the hire purchaser, but only the possession of the goods is transferred to the hire purchaser. He retains the ownership with him till he receives all the stipulated time of hire. So the vendor retains the ownership of the goods till he receives the stipulated installments of that particular hire. The hire purchaser, of course, does not get the ownership, but he gets the right to use the goods as per his choice. So the hire purchaser does not get the ownership of those goods, but actually he gets the right to use that good as per his choice. He will get the ownership only when he pays all his installments within a stipulated time. So this was the meaning of hire purchase contract. Moving further, he, as a matter of fact, has the opinion to buy the goods. In case he decides not to buy the goods, then he may terminate the contract by refusing to pay all the future installments towards the cost. So, as a matter of fact, he has the hire purchaser. He means the hire purchaser also has the option to buy the goods. In case he decides not to buy the goods, then he may terminate the contract by refusing to pay all the future installments towards the cost of that goods. The total payment to be made by the buyer in case of purchase of goods under the system of hire purchase is always more than the payment that he will have to make in case he buys the goods of cash. So the total payment that is made by a buyer in case of purchasing the goods under the hire purchase system, it is always more than the payment that he will have to make in case he buys the goods for the cash. So what does this means? That in hire purchase system, if a person agrees to pay the installments, then he will have to pay installments more than the amount that he actually agrees to pay while purchasing or buying or having the ownership of that good. So installments are always far more than the actual cost that is to be paid for that particular good. This is because the high purchase price besides the cash price of the goods includes the charges for the following. So why this happens? Because the cash price of the goods includes the following. What it includes? It includes the interest for payment being over a period of time instead of single cash on payment. So every time the installment is being paid, the interest is charged over that installment. And second, the risk that is taken by the seller in the event of the buyer's failure to pay the price of the goods. So what does the price includes? It also includes the risk that the seller takes if the hire purchaser fails to pay the price for the goods. So the difference between the higher purchase price and the cash price is known by different names. Some call it high purchase charges, while other calls it as finance charges. Still others simply as interest. So higher purchase and cash price are also known as the high purchase charges, the finance charges, and the interest. So there are different names for these for stating the difference between high purchase and cash price. So this was the meaning of high purchase contract. Now moving forward to the hire purchase system. So hire purchase system is a special system of purchase and sale. So basically the hire purchase system is a special system in which there is a purchase and a sale of the particular good. When goods are purchased on hire purchase system, purchaser pays the price in installments. These installments may be monthly, quarterly, yearly, etc. So whenever goods are purchased on hire purchase system, the purchaser pays the price in installments. These installments may be made monthly, yearly, quarterly, or any other mode. Goods are delivered to the purchaser at the time of hire purchase agreement, but the purchaser will become the owner of the goods only on the payment of the last installments. So goods are delivered to the purchaser, hire purchaser, at the time the hire purchase agreement has been made. But the purchaser will become, but the hire purchaser will become the owner of the goods only on the payment of the last installment. All the installments paid as are treated as higher till the last installment is paid off. So every installment that is paid is always treated as the higher till the last installment has been paid to the hire vendor by the hire purchaser. Under the hire purchase system, goods are delivered to a person who agrees to pay the owner by equal periodical installments. Such installments are to be treated as hire of these goods until a certain fixed amount has been paid when these goods become the property of the hire. So under this system, the goods are delivered to a person who agrees to pay the owner the equal periodical installments, and these installments are treated as the hire of those goods until a fixed amount has been paid whenever these goods becomes the property of the hire. So the next thing in hire purchase system is that under hire purchase system, the seller agrees to sell the article on the condition that the buyer shall pay the purchase price through installments. So under this system, hire purchase system, the seller agrees to sell the article. What does the seller does? This hire seller a hire vendor agrees to sell the article on the condition that the buyer shall pay the price through installments, and the article is not legally sold to the buyer in hire purchase system. So under this system, the seller agrees to sell the article only on installments, and the buyer shall pay those installments, those price through installments, and the article is not legally sold to the buyer under this system. The buyer or hirer makes an initial payment called the down payment, and the balance amount due to the vendor in installments together with the interest. So the buyer, what does the buyer does? The buyer makes an initial payment. Buyer makes an initial payment, that is basically known as the down payment, and the balance amount of that particular good is due to that vendor, and the balance amount that is due is paid to the vendor through installments along with the interest. Ownership is in the goods is transferred from seller to buyer only on the payments of the last installment. So ownership of the goods of in under hire purchase system is transferred from seller to buyer only on the payment of the last installment. So if the buyer defaults to pay the installment amount, the goods will be repossessed by the seller. So if the buyer defaults to pay the installment amount, the goods will be repossessed by the seller. Hire purchase agreement under section 2. So what does the agreement states? First of all, this is very important that section 2 of hire purchase agreement says that the hire purchase agreement means an agreement under which the goods are let on hire and under which the hire has an option to purchase them in accordance with the terms of the agreement, and includes the agreement under which. So agreement is that agreement under which the goods are let on hire and under which the hire purchaser has the option to purchase that goods in accordance with the terms and conditions of those agreement, which are possession of goods is delivered by the owner thereof to the person or the condition that such person pays the agreed amount in the periodical installment. So first condition under this section to have a hire purchase agreement is that the goods of possession of the particular good will be delivered to the hire purchaser only and only in certain conditions, that the person pays the agreed amount in installments. Then the second condition is that the property in the goods is to pass to such a person on the payment of the last installment. So the property of that goods will be transferred to the hire purchaser only on the payment of the last installment. Such a person has the right to terminate the agreement at any time before the property passes. So the hire purchaser has the right to terminate the agreement at any time. He can terminate the agreement any time before the property has been transferred to that hire purchaser. Every hire purchase agreement shall be in writing and signed by all the parties thereto. So every hire purchase agreement can be in writing and it should be signed by all the parties those are involved in that particular contract. So the next topic of our lecture is characteristics of a hire purchase system. So what are the main features of a hire purchase system? The main features of a hire purchase system are the goods are delivered by the seller to a buyer. So it is very clear that in hire purchase system the goods are delivered from hire vendor to the hire purchaser or seller to the buyer. And next feature is buyer agrees to pay higher purchase price, that is cash price plus interest. So next is buyer agrees to pay the higher purchase price. So for entering into a higher purchase contract or a next feature of a higher purchase system is that the buyer or a higher purchaser agrees to pay the higher purchase price, which means that he has to pay the cash price plus the interest on that particular goods. Next is the installments paid are treated as higher charges till the payments of the last installment. So installments in hire purchase system are treated as the higher charges till the payment of the last installment has been made. Next feature is after the payment of the last installment, ownership is transferred in the name of the buyer. So we have already discussed this, that after the payment of the last installment, the ownership of the good can be transferred to the hire purchaser. And next feature is in case of default, if the hire purchaser becomes a defaulter, then in payment in paying to the buyer, then in that case the seller has got the right to repossess the goods, as the ownership lies with the seller itself till the payment of the last installment. So this means that in case if a hire purchaser becomes a defaulter and he doesn't pay the installments to the seller, then the seller has the right to repossess the goods, as the ownership still lies with him till the payment of the last installment has been made. So the next feature is that the hire purchaser becomes the owner of the asset after paying the last installment. So this means that the hire purchaser actually becomes the owner of the asset when he pays the last installment. Next, every installment is treated as hire charge for using the asset. So every installment that a hire purchaser pays is treated as a hire charge for using the asset. Hire purchaser can use the asset right after making the agreement with the hire vendor. So this is also very easy and clear that hire purchaser can use the asset as soon as the agreement is made and both the parties, that is hire vendor and hire purchaser, comes to the agreement. The hire purchaser can start using the goods. And the last feature is that the hire vendor has the right to repossess the asset in case difficulties in obtaining the payment of installment. So this is the last feature of hire purchase system. Now, what are the various terms that are used in the hire purchase agreement? So there are very important terms that like first, hire purchaser. Who is hire purchaser? He is a buyer in hire purchase agreement. Hire vendor, he is the seller in the hire purchase agreement. Cash price is the amount that is to be paid for outright purchase in the cash. Down payment, it is the initial payment that is payable by the hire purchaser at the time of entering into a contract. And lastly, hire purchase price, it is the total amount that is payable by the hire purchaser to the hire vendor of goods are purchased under the hire purchase system. So these are the terms that are widely used in the hire purchase agreement. Now we will be seeing the accounting entries that are usually made while entering into a contract of a hire purchase system. For one thing, that in this topic we will not be going through the numericals, as we don't have to study the numericals in this topic, but the questions in theory can come like write the various accounting entries in the books of a hire purchaser and or in the books of the hire vendor. So in that kind of question we have to write all the entries, accounting entries for the hire purchaser and the hire vendor. So we will be excuse me, we will be starting with the entries, accounting entries. The accounting entries for recording of hire purchase transactions in the book of both the hire purchaser and the hire vendors are explained below. So in books of the hire purchaser, what are the entries that are to be made? There are two methods of making accounting entries of the hire purchase transactions in the book of hire purchaser. So if we are making entries in the book of hire purchaser, there are two methods to make accounting entries in the book of the hire purchaser. That is when the asset is recorded at full cash price and when the asset is recorded at the cash price actually paid. So when assets are recorded at full cash price, and the second method is when the asset is recorded at the cash price that are actually paid. So firstly we will see the entries that are made when asset is recorded at the full cash price. So in this case in case of this method, the entries regarding hire purchase transactions are recorded on the basis that having agreed to buy the asset, the hire purchaser has become practically the owner of the asset. So in this method, the entries are made regarding the hire purchase transactions that are recorded on the basis that having agreed to buy the asset. So when the hire purchaser has agreed to buy the asset, then it is recorded in the books of hire purchase. The hire purchaser has become practically the full owner of the asset. So the following journal entries are passed in the books of the buyer for recording the hire purchase transactions according to this method. So first entry will be made when the asset is being purchased. So the entry made will be asset account debit to hire vendor account with the full cash price of the asset. So when the asset is being purchased, the entry will be asset account debit to hire vendor and with the full cash price of the asset. Second entry will be on making the cash down payment. So when the cash down payment will be made, the entry will be hire vendor account debit to cash or bank account with actual cash down payment. So what the actual cash payment that is being made to the hire vendor by the hire purchaser. In this case, the entry will be hire vendor debit to cash or bank. In whichever mode you are paying the vendor, this will be written, this will be credited. So the next entry will be for interest due. Interest account debit to hire vendor account. That is, interest is calculated on the outstanding amount when the installment becomes due. So interest due entry will be interest account debit to hire vendor account. Next is on the payment of hire purchase installment. So the payment of hire purchase installments, the entry for the payment of the hire purchase installments will be hire vendor account debit to cash or bank account. That is the amount being paid. So the payment for the hire purchase installment entry will be hire vendor account debit to cash or bank. For depreciation of the asset, the entry will be depreciation account debit to asset account at the end of the accounting period. And next is when the asset is recorded at the cash price actually paid. So when the asset is being recorded by the hire purchaser and he has actually paid the cash price. This method recognizes the fact that the hire purchaser does not become the owner of the asset till he makes the final installment. So that was the case when the hire purchaser has become the owner of the asset and he has paid all the installments. And this is the case when the hire purchaser does not become the owner of the asset till he makes the final installment. So hence no entry is passed when the agreement for hire purchase is signed. There will be no entry that is to be passed when the agreement of hire purchase is signed. Entries are passed at the time of payment of each installment. The following journal entries are passed for hire purchase transaction according to this method. So what are the various journal entries that are to be passed for hire purchase transactions? While paying the cash down payment, the entry will be asset account debit to cash or bank account, that is with the amount of cash down payment. Next, on the hire purchase installment, when the hire purchase installment becomes due, entry will be asset account debit, interest account debit to hire vendor. That is, asset account is debited with the amount of cash price that is included in the each installment. The interest on outstanding cash price is debited to the interest account. So second entry will be when hire purchase installment is due. So entry will be asset account debit, interest account debit to hire vendor account. Third entry will be on making the installment, on paying the installment. That is, entry will be hire vendor debit to cash or bank account. Again, depreciation charged. So depreciation, if we are charging as depreciation to the asset, entry will be same. Depreciation account debit to the asset account. So these are the entries if the cash price is actually paid. Now we will see the various entries in the books of the hire vendor. The hire vendor takes the sale of the goods on the hire purchase as ordinary sale. He therefore debits the account of the hire purchaser and credits the sales account with the full cash price as soon as the contract is signed. So hire vendor takes the sale of the goods uh, on the hire purchase as the ordinary sale, and therefore he debits the account of the hire purchaser and credits the sales account with the full cash price as soon as the contract is signed. What are the entries that are for the interest? Entries for the interest are passed periodically, and the journal entries that are to be passed by the hire vendor are as follows. So while in the books, making entries in the books of hire vendor, the journal entries will be firstly on sale of the goods of under hire purchase. So while making the while on the sale of goods under hire purchase, while selling the goods under hire purchase, the entry will be hire purchase account debit to sales account. On receiving the cash payment, cash account debit, yeah, bank account debit to hire purchaser. If interest is due, the entry will be hire purchaser account debit to interest account. And lastly, on getting the payment of the installment, the entry will be cash account debit, bank account debit to hire purchaser. So these are the various entries that are to be made while making entries in the books of hire vendor. Now we will see the various advantages of a hire purchase system. So what are the advantages of a hire purchase system? The hire purchase and installment schemes enables the buyer to buy the goods which are beyond their reach. So the hire purchase system allows the buyer to buy the goods which they cannot buy without paying the installments. So this is one of the advantages of entering into a hire purchase contract. It also enables the business to find the buyers for their product. A business cannot always look for a cash party for the product that are expensive in nature. So the hire purchase system enables the business or a vendor to find the buyers for their products. A business cannot always find a cash party for their products as the paying cash is very expensive in nature. So next advantage is it widens the market and middlemen are eliminated. It also helps the finance company to develop their business. Nowadays, finance companies finance several articles widely under hire purchase and installment system. Prices are stabilized as the convenience and luxury goods are sold under hire purchase and installment system. The standard of living of the people also increases. So under this system, the luxury goods are sold, are all, mostly luxury and convenient goods are sold. So the standard of living of the people also increases. Seller can increase the sales. Moreover, sales under hire purchase and installments are more profitable. These days, most business houses comes out with a number of offers like free gifts exclusively for hire purchase customers. So the merits are very easy. Now, this is the advantages of hire purchase system. Hire purchase and installment system tempts the buyers to buy the goods which are beyond their means. So it becomes extravagant. What does it mean? That we have already studied that last advantage, that various companies provide the gifts or they provide number of offers for the hire purchase parties. So it tempts the other parties to take the goods on hire purchase that are out of their reach or they are beyond their means. So this becomes very extravagant. The buyer pays a very high price for the article under such schemes. So the buyer pays a very high price for the articles under such schemes. This is because he has to pay the interest on the outstanding balances. The need for the R is savings. Schemes like hire purchase makes the people spend thrifts. So the actual need of a person is to increase their savings and decrease the expenses, but these schemes of hire purchase, what does it does? It makes the people to spend more and more on the high purchase schemes. High purchase price is higher than the cash price. Buyers under high purchase system are charged interest. The rate of interest is often higher. So high purchase price is higher, actually higher than the cash prices, and the buyers under the high purchase system are charged interest. So the rate of interest is often higher. If the buyer defaults in payment, goods sold under hire purchase system are repossessed by the hire vendor. The purchaser suffers a huge loss on repossessed goods. So, if a buyer defaults in payment, or or the hire purchaser is a defaulter and doesn't pays the installments for the goods that are sold under hire purchase system, are actually repossessed by the seller or the vendor. The purchaser suffers a huge loss on the repossession of the goods. Hire purchase and installment transaction are cumbersome, and agreement has to be entered into and guarantees to be given. More legal formalities are to be gone through. So hire purchase and installment transactions are actually cumbersome, and an agreement has to be entered into and guarantees to be given to the hire vendor. More legal formalities are to be made in this system. The rate of default under high purchase and installment system is very higher, and it is because only with inadequate means buy under this system. A number of legal formalities will have to be fulfilled by the buyer. He may have to find a guarantor. The agreement must be prepared and signed both by the seller and the buyer, and it must be witnessed. The document of title will vest with the vendor financer till the dues are cleared by the hire. So many legal formalities have to be fulfilled by both the buyer and the seller. He may also need a guarantor. The agreement that is prepared must be signed by both the parties, and it must also be witnessed by the third party. The document of title will always rest with the vendor till all the dues are cleared by the purchaser. So these are the disadvantages of the hire purchase system. Now moving towards the installment purchase system. So this system is also termed as deferred installment system. In case of this system, there is an outright sale of goods with the buyer having the facility to pay the purchase price in certain number of agreed installments. So in this system, there is an straight outright to sale of the goods, to sell the goods with the buyer and having the facility to pay the purchase price in certain number of agreed installments. Thus, the installment price includes both the cash price as well as the interest for the delayed payment. The possession and the legal ownership of the goods passes to the buyer immediately. The following are the essential characteristics of this system. The buyer gets the immediate possession and the ownership of the goods. The payment of the price has to be made by the buyer in agreed installments. In the event of default by the buyer in payment of any installment, the seller can bring the suit against the buyer for recovery of unpaid price and damages. In no case he can recover back the goods. So these are the characteristics of the installment purchase system. The installment purchase system of selling goods can be employed for similar goods which are suitable for sale under hire purchase system. The seller has also to be cautious in selection of the customers. So basically in a installment purchase system, the ownership of the goods is transferred to the purchaser as soon as both the parties come into the contract. But here the amount is the price of the good is also paid in the agreed installments. It is not a one time payment, and but the ownership of the good is transferred to the buyer immediately they enter into the contract. Now, what are the various difference between the hire purchase and the installment system? So, this is a very important question that can come to your exam. That is the various differences between the hire purchase and installment system. So, where the following are the points of difference between the two systems. From legal viewpoint, there are differences. That is, first difference is the transfer of ownership. In the case of hire purchase system, the ownership of the goods sold passes to the buyer only on the payment of the final installment, but in case of installment system, the ownership of the goods is transferred to the buyer immediately after the sale of the goods. So this is the first point of difference between the hire purchase and installment system. Secondly, recovery of goods. So in case of hire purchase system, if the buyer fails to pay any installment, the seller can recover the goods back from the buyer. But in case of deferred installment system, the seller cannot recover the goods. He can only sue for the recovery of the prices and the damages. So this is the second difference. What difference is this? That in case of hire purchase system, if the buyer fails to pay the installment, then the seller or the vendor can immediately repossess the goods from the purchaser. But in case of installment system, the seller cannot repossess or recover the good. He can only sue the second party for not paying the price or making the damages. Third difference is forfeiture of installment paid. So in case of hire purchase system, in the event of buyer's default in payment, the seller can forfeit all the money paid by the buyer so far. But in case of deferred installment system, the money paid by the buyer will be taken as payment towards part of the selling price, and seller can only sue for the balance. So in case of hire purchase system, the money that is being paid till now as an installment will be will be forfeited by the seller. But in case of installment system, the money paid by the buyer will be taken as the payment towards the part of the selling price, and the seller can only sue for the balance that has not been paid yet. So these were the differences from the legal point of view. Now from accounting point of view, we'll see the differences. First is charging of interest. So in case of hire purchase system, the buyer is initially charged with the cash price and periodically with the interest on the outstanding cash price. But in case of installment system, the buyer is charged with the installment price including the total interest. So in case of in case of charging interest in hire purchase system, the buyer initially charges the cash price and periodically he also charges the interest on the outstanding cash price. But in case of deferred installment system, the buyer is charged with the full installment price including the total interest. Now the second difference is computation of loss on seizure of goods by the vendor. In case of hire purchase system, in the event of seizure of goods by the vendor due to the buyer's default, the loss on the seizure of goods has to be computed. But in case of installment system, the vendor cannot be seized the good, and hence the need is in computation of loss on seizure does not arises. So for the seizure of goods, in case of hire purchase system, the goods can be seized by the vendor due to default of the buyer, and the loss due to seizure uh, or the loss on the seizure of goods has to be computed. But in case of installment system, the vendor cannot seize the goods, and hence the need in the need for the computation of loss for the seizure of goods due to the seizure of goods does not rises. Third is the accounting entries. Accounting entries has to be made in respect of purchase and sale of goods under installment system are similar to those under the hire purchase system. So accounting entries are usually same for both the systems. However, there are too many differences. Firstly, the purchaser in the books of vendor is debited with the full purchase price as soon as the contract is signed. So the purchaser in the books of vendor is debited with the full purchase price as soon as the contract is signed. Similarly, the vendor is credited with the full purchase in the books of purchaser. The amount of interest is put to a separate account termed as interest suspense account. The interest relating to each year on the outstanding balance is transferred from the interest suspense account to the interest account, which is ultimately transferred to the P&L account. So this is the difference between the accounting entries of both the methods. And second difference is the goods purchased become property of the buyer, and hence they are shown in the balance sheet at cost less depreciation. So goods purchased in installment system becomes the ultimate becomes the property of the buyer, and hence they are shown in the balance sheet as a cost less depreciation. The amount due to vendor is shown separately as a liability and not as a deduction from the asset. So the other differences for hire purchase system and installment system are, firstly, nature of contract. In nature of contract, it is a hire purchase system is an agreement of hiring, installment purchase system is an agreement of sale. Passing of ownership title, the title of goods is passed on to the buyer after the payment of final installment in case of hire purchase system, and in case of installment system the title of goods are passed immediately after signing the agreement, as there is a case in usual sale. Right to seller, right of seller. So in case of hire purchase system, if the buyer fails to pay the installment, the goods can be repossessed by the seller. But in case of installment system, the seller cannot repossess the goods, he can sue the buyer for the amount due. Right of disposal, the buyer cannot hire out, sell, transfer, destroy, or pledge the goods. But in case of an installment purchase system, the buyer can hire, sell, transfer, destroy, and pledge the goods, and a bona fide purchaser can get the good title. And lastly, the return of goods. So, in case of hire purchase system, the buyer may return the goods without the further payment except for accrued installment. But in case of installment purchase system, except seller's default, goods cannot be returned. So, thank you. This was the hire purchase system and the installment purchase system. The last topic of our unit 3. We have done with this, and thank you and take care.